Okay, I think we're live. Hey, everyone in the chat. Welcome
Hi
Caridee
guys.
from Crypto.com. My name is Andy from Figment. And today we want to dive deeper into some of the current and upcoming products that Crypto.com is launching. You may have heard of Crypto.com, of what they've done in the past. There's a lot of things going on. And so maybe Caridee, good place to start, maybe introduce yourself quickly, but then I'm curious
Sure.
about if you could just describe at a high level, what are the big core products for Crypto.com?
Okay, thanks, Andrew.
Mhm.
And hi everyone. I'm Caridee from Crypto.com. I'm the product manager for the Defy Wallet app. And in Crypto.com, our vision is to have cryptocurrency in every wallet. And we believe it's the basic human right to control money, data, and identity. And ever since Crypto.com was founded back in June 2016, we have established 3 key product pillars so far. The first one is on the payment side. So we have our flagship product, the Crypto.com Visa card, and we also have the Crypto.com Pay. And the second pillar that we have is the trading. We have for sure our Crypto.com app that allows users an easy buy and sell of crypto with their credit card and fiat channels. And we also have our Crypto.com exchange platform. And the last pillar that we have is the financial services. So with this pillar, we have my product, the Defy Wallet app, and the recently launched DeFi Swap protocol. So apart from the DeFi, we also have the CeFi, and we have the Crypto Earn and Crypto Credit on the Crypto.com app side. Yeah.
Wow, you certainly have a lot of things going on. It's great. You mentioned that you focus on the DeFi wallet. Is that one of your newer products? And what led the team to decide, yes, we want to build a DeFi wallet? And what's the difference between the DeFi wallet and the other Crypto.com app that I might see in the App Store?
Yeah, so the DeFi wallet is a relatively new product. We launched the app back in May 2020, so it's only around like 9 months so far.
Mm-hmm.
So back then, the Crypto.com only had the centralized products, and one of our goal was to become a crypto one-stop shop, and security is one of our core strengths in Crypto.com. So we are trying to see if we can build a wallet that brings convenience and security and let our users to take full control of their crypto. So we launched a user survey back in like November 2019, trying to see like if there's like a user demand for using a crypto non-custodial crypto wallet, trying to see whether users are using one, and if they're not, whether there's any interest to use a non-custodial wallet. So through that survey, we actually learn more about our users, and there we see that need of users wanting to use a non-custodial wallet. We're able to kind of define the user persona and the user problems that we try to tackle with the DeFi wallet. We have this goal of balancing security and convenience with a mobile non-custodial wallet app. So yeah, this pretty much led to us building the DeFi wallet app as the first and the pioneer product on the decentralized side.
Great, yeah, definitely seems that you're correctly reading the market. You're seeing, that people are wanting to own their tokens or control their tokens more. And of course, the challenge then is the tools to make sure that you don't screw up, but also let people do what they want. So it's a tricky balance. And I'm sure as you've gone through your interviews and sort of UX studies, that's something that you've thought a lot about. What are the key things that you've learned that people want to do with the DeFi wallet? There's staking, yes. But what are the things that you think people are currently doing now, and what do you think people might want to do more of in the future through the DeFi wallet?
So a few months ago, when we first launched our DeFi tab, which is now the Earn tab, we did a in-app survey trying to understand what our users want. How do they interact with DeFi? Do they know what is DeFi? What are some of the products that they're using right now? So I think one of the top key user goal with using DeFi is to grow the passive income through Lightning protocols or aggregators, yield generating protocols. And I think most importantly, we also see a strong demand with decentralized exchange. So users trying to swap tokens into the new cool altcoins. So I think that's really what the kind of user demand is right now as well. But we also see new and innovative ecosystem coming along. So it's not just the token of the ecosystem, but also like the values and like the technology that they can bring to make DeFi easier and more accessible for users.
Yep, that makes sense. So it seems with your DeFi wallet, you're building for a multi-chain world or more than one network. Have you found any challenges from a product perspective or technical perspective as you're looking to add multiple networks? Or how do you prioritize which network to add next? Just any comments you have about building for a multi-network product?
Yeah, I think building a multi-network wallet, I think first it's the different blockchain technologies that we need to understand. So I think one of the biggest struggle with our team is not knowing what we don't know. So there will always be surprises during the development, and the blockchain technology is ever changing, and there's limited resources out there. It's hard to find that one source or official data to refer to or documentations. So I guess it's really important to be inquisitive and ask whenever you have any questions. So we are really grateful that we have a very resourceful blockchain team in-house that has already handled the different blockchains, deposit and withdrawals on the Crypto.com app side.
Right. Yep.
And when it comes to prioritization of which network to integrate and support, it really depends on the market demands and what the users want. Definitely, we see some of the ecosystem being more trendy at the moment. I guess more importantly is what kind of value proposition does it bring to our users. So we recently integrated with Cosmos Network, and a few days ago we launched Cosmos Staking. So we feel this is one of strong value proposition for users that they can like stake and earn while holding on Atom.
Yep, that makes sense. Without giving away too many secrets, what does your roadmap look like? Are there more networks in the future for you, or how do you see that?
Yeah, I would say, to be honest, our product roadmap changes from time to time. It really depends on what's trending on the market, what our users want. At the moment, our number one priority is to prepare for our Crypto.com chain mainnet launch. So yeah, our Crypto.com chain is going on to mainnet soon. So this is one of the top number one priority that we have in our team right now.
Yep.
And I guess in terms of other roadmap items, in the short term, we are trying to bring more yield generating opportunities to our users and enriching our DeFi Earn token support. So right now on DeFi Earn, we have compound lending, and we're looking to integrate with different DeFi protocols in the future, letting users to earn crypto more easily through the DeFi Earn. And I would say in the midterm, we are also looking to add different new functions trying to explore new ecosystem, how we can bring the values onto the DeFi Wallet app and make crypto management fun, easy, and rewarding for our users. So we are looking into NFT in particular. So I'm also excited for that one.
Okay, great. So I see we got our first question down in the Ask a Question section below. If anyone else has questions, please answer them there, or please ask them there, and we'll go through and I'll make sure to address them. But yeah, you can either do it right in the chat or the Ask a Question section at the bottom, and we'll get to it. And the first question that's asked is about a web wallet, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I'm curious for the developers who are listening. If a developer wants to take on a project working on a wallet, can you describe at a high level what they need to consider? Not specific coding challenges, but like what are the different parts of the application they need to think about? We talked a little bit about a blockchain node. What else, as a product manager, what do you think are the big key components that a developer will need to consider if they wanted to make a wallet themselves?
I think first it's to really identify what is the user problem you're trying to solve. So who will be your target users of your wallet, and trying to understand the type of users that you are building the wallet for, what are the current challenges they're having while using the other wallets. And with that user problem in mind, then you probably can make some product assumptions and put yourself into the shoes of your users and try to think of, all the delights and pain points. What are some of the expected user journey? And I think it's always great to kind of just try out the other wallet apps and do some research and benchmarking. And I think next would be gathering the requirements from different teams. So I think along the way of defining product requirements, it's very important to check with different teams just to get the knowledge and insights, and to see if there are also like specific requirements. For example, when it comes to the security, how to back up your recovery phrase, what kind of authentication you need to do before you actually sign up a transaction. Any compliance issue in terms of where you're listing your app. And we are also lucky to be able to talk to our blockchain team and understand what are some key pain points or blockers that we can foresee during the development. And also talking to our marketing and CS team to understand if there's already some existing pain points that we can tackle with this new feature. And then it's kind of like putting all these requirements into your mixing bowl and wrap together and work with the design team to transform that into a UI that works well with the users.
That makes sense. So it sounds like you've, your product's been live now since the middle of last year, and you've done a good amount of user research and product planning. What are some of the UX challenges that you've surfaced? Everyone talks about the UX or the user experience in crypto could be improved. What are the key things what are the key things you found, and what are you doing to address them, or what do you hope to build to address those challenges?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest challenge on the DeFi Wallet app is the gas fees. So I think most of our users here just started their journey in the decentralized world. So they might not understand the on-chain world very well. And let's say why would you need Ethereum to send the ERC20 tokens, to do a deposit into Compound? So I think our challenge here is to give enough information along that user journey, but not to bombard all the information at once. So we try to take a progressive discoverability approach on the UI. So we only show info modal or reminders here and there along that journey to remind our users.
Mhm.
And I think with DeFi on layer 2 and ETH 2.0, we are hoping to see how we can tackle this problem further.
Mhm.
Even though users might understand they need Ethereum as gas
Mhm.
fees, but this is still very steep
Mhm.
in terms of the transaction amount that they are transacting.
Mhm. Mhm. That makes sense. So you mentioned Ethereum, which everyone knows that's sort of the current king of DeFi, or at least DeFi started on Ethereum, and that's where a lot of the action's happening. What about looking forward to the future? Are there any other ecosystems, DeFi ecosystems you're tracking, whether it's different networks or different layer twos? Is there anything that you're personally excited about right now, or you see could sort of have a pickup with DeFi?
I think personally there are a lot of new projects, new ecosystem to track and learn about. Every day there's like new stuff coming up. I think personally I'm particularly interested in the DeFi on layer 2, Polkadot network, and I think other projects such as DeFi on Bitcoin, the NFTs, how to tokenize physical assets into digital ones. And there are still so many other new cool ecosystem out there. And we also have our new venture team to help
Mhm.
research and explore further.
Yep.
And
Yep.
of course, our Crypto.com chain, it's going live soon on mainnet. I think that's also another ecosystem that we are excited about. Yeah.
Okay. Sticking with the theme of UX and sort of things that developers might have to consider, it seems like bridges or bridges going in between different chains are something that a lot of networks are investing in, and users are starting to participate in. From a UX perspective, or even in your DeFi wallet, how do you think about users using bridges? Is it something you want to make explicit? Is it make it hidden in the background? Is it something that is part of your scope or no?
I think for now, this is not really our near future scope.
Mm-hmm.
But I think definitely this is something that we would need to tap into
Mm-hmm.
in terms of inter-blockchain communications,
Mm-hmm.
even like atomic swaps,
Mm-hmm.
different new kind of concepts. I think for now, the approach that we are taking with DeFi Wallet app is we try to simplify the complex concept and make it simple and abstract, the value proposition for our users. I think it's really important to highlight what is the value proposition and incentivize the users to use it. And yeah, we prefer more of a abstract approach, and then we feed information along the way. We elaborate it in the info modal and the FAQ when the users want to learn more about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense. So one of the questions we received was asking about a web wallet. Clearly you've started with a mobile wallet. How does a web wallet fit in your plans, or maybe a different way to approach it? Why did you not start with a web wallet? Why did you start with a mobile wallet?
Yep. I think with most of our users within the current Crypto.com ecosystem, they are more of an app user.
Mm-hmm.
We know that there are already, really established web wallets out there like MetaMask, my Ether wallet.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see some of the projects actually start with web and go into the app as well. So we feel that, when it comes to everyday, you just want to take a peep into your
Mm-hmm.
non-custodial wallet assets. The mobile side really comes in really handy.
Mm-hmm.
And when, the market is trending right now with all the DeFi coins and DeFi ecosystem, we feel that the app will bring more value to our users, to our target segment in particular.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, whoever asked that question, Nasib, if you asked that question, if you could add a comment or put something in the chat, I'm curious, let's do some real-time user research. Why do you want a web wallet? Or what are the missing features that would make you want it from crypto.com? If you could answer that, that'd be maybe get some valuable input for Caridee, because she's the one who's the product manager who's looking at these things. So maybe we can help you out a little bit, Caridee.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. All right. I want to talk a little bit now about how we met. So we met you because you were looking to launch Cosmos, and there was a product from Data Hub, which is we allow anyone to search transactions, so a much more robust transaction search. How did you identify that was something that was important for your users, and what led you to finding Figment and Data Hub?
So I would say back then when we were planning for the Cosmos integration, we are trying to see if there's any existing API provider out there that would allow us to get transaction history and provide a transaction indexing service. Because we feel that it's very important to be able to parse the transaction nicely to our users. Especially when we know that we will be supporting the staking feature in the future. We want to make sure we can scale quickly and be able to integrate with a good UI to provide users with that good transaction history of staking events, stake, unbond, and all that. So I think one of our developers was actually the one that located Figment, and he saw that there is this data hub function. So then, yeah, I think we just reached out through an online forum, and then I remember, I think it's Yannick reaching out, and then we just started this conversation.
Yep, that makes sense. I'm curious about what might be coming next. So users are doing more things. They can now stake with Cosmos. What sort of tools do you want to give to your users in terms of, yes, we're enabling a rich history of all their transactions, but do you see any other reporting tools you might want to give to users in terms of what they've been doing in DeFi, sort of a record of what they're going in and going out of? An example is, on Ethereum, I went and I locked up my tokens with some projects to do some liquidity mining. I don't know how to think about that. Like, I don't remember all the liquidity mining and bridging stuff done in the past. Do you think that's an opportunity for you with your DeFi wallet, or is that sort of out of scope of what you're thinking about?
Yeah, I think it's more of a portfolio tracker kind of concept.
Yep.
I think even as a user, when I'm trying to do different competitor research, when I was scoping Compound, I was trying to see, I was playing with different mobile apps, with the Compound web app, trying to see what kind of information I can get in terms of, representing my initial investment. So the initial principal amount, what is my current earning instead of my lifetime earning. So metrics like that aren't as straightforward right now, I can see. And even when I try to connect my wallet to some of the web wallet that provides that portfolio P&L tracking, I still find it very ambiguous. It's not a very clear position in terms of the portfolio that I have when, I have like investment in Compound, in Yearn, in Abi. There isn't a very easy, quick overview right there. And this is something that we are trying to tackle with our DeFi Earn. I think right now when we are working to integrate with different new protocols, we start to understand this pain point. It's not that easy when you have to crawl through all these on-chain transactions, digging into the payload, trying to derive all the underlying assets, the exchange rate between the underlying assets and the synthetic token, at the time of the deposit. I think that's definitely one of the pain points that we are trying to tackle as well ourselves.
Yep. Okay, that makes sense. So I want to ask a question about, you mentioned, how Crypto.com started, and you have a centralized exchange, and we're talking about DeFi and more decentralized exchanges. How do you think the centralized and decentralized exchanges will coexist in the future? Or will decentralized solutions more take over, or do they have different jobs to solve? How do you see those two existing or not?
I think they will coexist.
Mm-hmm.
It really depends on the end users, I would say. I mean, both sides of the world have their pros and cons.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the decentralized side is moving a little bit faster with more innovations, more people on that front thinking outside of the box. Let's say trying to tackle the impermanent loss.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say this decision would really ultimately fall on the end users. There will always be the users that want to go all DeFi, having that full autonomy, full ownership over their own crypto.
Mm-hmm.
And there will be users that prefer to trade with a trusted custody because they can't trust themselves and that they might lose their recovery phrase and private
Mm-hmm.
key.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in the ideal world, it will be having different types of solutions, targeting different types of users, and then it's really up to the users to make that decision. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. We had a question from the audience, and it was phrased in terms of, do you think that we'll see fiat or CBDCs bridging with DeFi? And maybe a different way to ask this question is, how do you see DeFi growing more in the future? Is it more Ethereum as the base currency that everything is based on DeFi? Will we be able to bring in more fiat? Will we get these sort of central bank digital currencies coming in? Where do you see the future of the growth of DeFi? How do you see people coming from outside of crypto coming into DeFi? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think due to the recent bull run of BTC, there certainly has been a lot of attention pulling into the crypto industry as a whole. And yeah, I think even like my friends who are not into crypto, they will be like, oh, how do I buy BTC? And they also start hearing about DeFi. So I think it's only the beginning right now for DeFi, and it's a very exciting time to be in DeFi. I would say going forward, obviously the whole idea of building blockchain is to see a certain level of decentralization, not having that central authority or central point of failure. Obviously, we'll also need to see how the centralized side of the world actually react to this. Definitely, we foresee there will be more regulations coming in soon where there are more eyes on this space. Yeah, so I don't really have like a good prediction, but I have a good feeling that things are getting more exciting here. It's only the beginning, and it will continue to grow. Yep.
I have a question about from sort of a user analytics perspective. You've had a live product out since the middle of last year. What's been the most surprising thing that you've seen users doing with the DeFi wallet? Are they using it as you expected, or are they using different things than you might have expected? Anything sort of jump out or surprise you in terms of what people are doing versus what you thought they would do?
In terms of surprises,
Are they using the exact networks you thought they would use, or are they using different functions you thought they'd use?
I think right now with our app, when it comes to the send function, we have like 3 confirmation speed tiers with like different of these options for the users. I'm actually quite surprised to see a lot of users actually move down to the slower fee tier, even in like the recent months when the network is really congested.
Right.
And that let me feel like maybe we're not doing enough of a good job over here. I think along the way, we did added in the replace by fee function because we noticed a lot of complaints from users. And back in the MVP development, we didn't really add in the replace by fee function. And then ultimately, when we add that in, we see less complaints from users. But yeah, I hope to improve on that front when it comes to managing the user's expectation of how soon their funds or the transactions will be confirmed.
Right.
There's a lot of room for improvement over there.
I think that's a really, really important insight. Thanks for sharing that. And so any of the other people who are sort of developers in the room who are thinking about, okay, simple, send a transaction, there's a lot more going on here. There's a lot of things you could or could not present to users. And, what Caridee's, what you're saying here is that the users are sort of in a surprising way, maybe not surprising, but what you've observed is that they're selecting the cheapest, slowest option. And so, maybe speed is not important for a certain subset of users. Yep. Okay, great. Speaking of developers, is there any advice you'd give to someone who's looking to start building on Web3? Maybe they've been a developer not in blockchain before, but they're coming into blockchain now. What have you seen that might be helpful advice to someone looking to launch their first blockchain or Web3 app?
I think first and most importantly of all is to be customer-centric. I think you have to understand that the feature that you're working on might not be as straightforward for your users. So it's really important to understand your users and think from your users' perspective. And I think secondly, it's really important to stay up to date with what the market is trending, what's happening right now. The industry moves really fast, and every day there are like new features, new concepts coming out. And I think third is to stay close with your community, with your team, or with your developer community. And I find it very helpful to read all about the latest trends, and there are so many resources out there. I know like the Figment team has recently built the Figment Learn community. So there is this Figment Learn that kind of consolidate and standardize the documentations that are scattered around out there and provide tutorials for the developers. And yeah, I think that joining all the Discord channels, having that close developer community and being able to just shout and ask for help, that's very important.
Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, you mentioned something earlier, and my ears perked up because you said, one of the challenges that your team has faced, the developers have faced, is trying to find all the different blockchain documentation. There's no central place for it. And of course, that's the mission of what we're trying to do with Figment Learn. We're trying to make it the Web3 knowledge base. And so, just hearing you say that, it mirrors a lot of the pain points that we've heard over and over again. So we're trying, we're on it. It's an identified known issue. And so it's something that we're going to keep doing more and more with Learn. So I'm excited to hear that it might be useful to you and maybe other people. So it gives me a lot more hope that we should keep pushing on that.
Yeah.
Okay. So my last question I'd like to ask is sort of the magic wand question, which is, if you had a magic wand and you could improve anything about Web3 or anything about your app, what would that be?
I mean, if I have a magic wand, I would feel like, right now the app, the front end is just a unified version, more or less a one size fits all, trying to nudge different types of users along the user journey. If I have that magic wand, I would do A/B testing on each and every feature that we are going out my developers will not be happy to hear that. But yeah, always, we are making that assumption and build it first, and then trying to see and monitor how the users react and how the users use it before we do their version 2 and reiterate along the way. So I would say the magic one is being able to A/B test.
Yep. Okay, great. That's it. That's the end of the questions I had. And is there anything else you want to say to the folks before we sign off?
I would say it's a really exciting time to be in DeFi, and I think the industry as a whole is very supportive, and everyone is so passionate about what they are building. And if you're just a beginner, you will be surprised how supportive the community is. And yeah, I think watch out also for our Crypto.com chain mainnet launch. And if you want to learn more about crypto, DeFi, we also have our in-house Crypto.com research team, and you can subscribe to our weekly newsletter that will deliver market updates and insights to your mailbox.
Great. Yeah, thanks for your time today, Caridee. I've learned a lot. It's clear that you are taking a methodical, product-driven approach to the DeFi wallet. And it's great to hear that you're iterating on user feedback. You shared some of your insights along the way. So I think it's super valuable to the other builders and developers in the space. So look forward to working with you more in the future, and excited for the mainnet chain launch.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. All right. Talk soon.
Bye.